Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. Hopefully you're doing fine. Today's session is related to William Shakespeare's sonnet number 18. William Shakespeare, as you are familiar, wrote 37 plays and 154 sonnets. These sonnets were composed between 1593 to 1601 and they were published in 1609. William Shakespeare belonged to Stratford, and this particular poem, Sonnet 18, is believed to be dedicated to the Earl of Southampton because he was believed to be his financier, and that is why critics believe that this sonnet was dedicated to the Earl. We see the poem is ranked as one of the highest sonnets as far as Shakespeare's poetry is concerned. These sonnets are given numbers, and the first line of each sonnet is considered to be the title of that particular sonnet. So this particular sonnet is called as Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day? The sonnet runs as Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate, rough winds to shake the darling birds of May, and summer's leaves has all too short a day, sometime too hot the eye of the heaven shines, and often in his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometime declines, by chance on nature's changing course untrimmed, but thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest, so long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Sonnet 18 is written to praise the youthfulness, attractiveness, and positive characteristics of a young person. It starts with the rhetorical question: should the person's beauty be compared to the beauty of the summer's day? Speaker answers himself: the young person is more beautiful and has a milder nature than English summer. Summer strong destructive wind blows, and it is sometimes too short, sometimes too hot, sometimes overcast. In England, as you could see, summer basically remains sometime wild with the winds because of the rains. Every beautiful thing in nature will lose its beauty. Speaker makes startling claim: the young person will never grow old and become less beautiful by aging or chance, and the young's beauty will grow more with the passing of time. This poem will ensure that the memory of the person's youth, beauty, and excellence will never die. This particular poem, when we read in plain English, it states that sun is too hot and there are often clouds and everything beautiful will lose its beauty, but nature, chance, and planned course, your beauty shall not fade, and nor will you lose the beauty of your that you possess. and the death will claim you. But because of the death, even in eternal verse will live forever. This beauty of poetry will stay forever. And as long as people on earth would read the poem, they would consider you as immortal, and the poetry will also be considered as something eternal, something immortal. Shakespeare wrote in his poems, most of them 154, on sonnet style. These are 14-line poems and they have a specific rhythm. They are written in iambic pentameter, which is a kind of 5 feet rhythm. Words are in 10 syllable. These follow 5 pairs of syllable, each pair having an unstressed syllable followed by the stressed one. There are 3 quatrains. Poet argues why friend is better than a summer's day, ends with the rhyming couplet 2 lines. Strong conclusion, friend will eternally live in this particular poem. Rhyming scheme is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. So you can see the rhyming scheme from here. Day and May rhyme with each other. Temperate and date rhyme with each other. Shines and dines rhyme with each other. Dimmed and untrimmed, dimmed and untrimmed. Similarly, fade and shade, August and growest, and C and D. These are the patterns where we follow A, B, like you can see that how these particular patterns follow. This A will go with this one, third line. It is considered as A. Similarly, B, second one, goes with the fourth line and it's called as B. Likewise, it is C and it rhymes with declines. Similarly, dimmed is rhymed with untrimmed. And likewise, E goes here with the shade. So, fade, shade, they are E, and ovest and growest, they are F. And similarly, C and D, they both remain as G, G. So, this is a particular rhyme scheme where Shakespeare follows his pattern or the music according to this particular rhyming scheme. So Shakespeare numbered all his sonnets and they do not have titles. People refer to Shakespeare's sonnets either by their number or by quoting the first line with apostrophe. So, like, shall I compare thee? So these are the naming pattern. Theme. Poet contrasts the imperfection of the summer's day with the perfection of the beauty of a friend. The fleeting nature of the beauty and youth, love and time outlast the time. Love will remain forever. So connection will remain forever. The immortality of the poetry, beauty outlasts love, and then immortality of that the speaker offers to the young person is the immortality of the memory, and beauty and youthfulness will also stay here. Summer is the time that brings change and is in transience, but the art is timeless and permanent and is long lasting. So, beauty, death, immortality, and friendship, they are the themes of this particular poem. The tone is calm, victorious, triumphant, and then abstract throughout. Admiring and respectful tone is here. From line 9 onwards, his tone is one of the quiet and conviction and confidence, and it becomes this harsh, belittling when he addresses the death of the friend. Mood. Poem starts on a joyous mood. Speaker feels happy, enthusiastic about the beloved and comparison he is about to create. The use of the, which was the word for used for someone you know really well, creates a mood and tone of gentleness, intimacy, and closeness. Similarly, when you look at the analysis, first quadrant, Shakespeare compares and contrasts the young person with the typical English summer, where in northern hemisphere, summer lasts from May to August, the warmest and more pleasant season of the year, as well as the period of the growth in nature, which culminates in maturity because of the spring, because of rain, because of the fertilization of nature. And then figuratively, summer refers to the period of maturity in the person's life. Fully developed body and mind is attained in summer. So let's read these lines one by one and see what is there. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Rhetorical question is there, and then you see shall expresses uncertainty and doubt, and then will comparison is done to justice to his friend, and then apostrophe shall I compare thee. Here you could see that how thee is used as kind of replacement of you, that is addressing the friend directly, and it also indicates the closer relationship to a special bond. Similarly, summer day. This is a metaphor where you see that the beloved compared to a pleasant long summer day is symbolic, and summer is a symbol of most pleasant weather, perfect season with no flaws. So when the summer is perfect, but the friend's beauty is more perfect and more adoring. Line number 2, thou art more lovely and more temperate. So you are thou. Thou is here for you, and then emphasizes the closest relationship. Then more lovely, beloved is physically beautiful than summer's day, and more temperament, like you could see that how person's temperament, personality is gentle and not as unpredictable as the summer's weather, because summer can change, summer can bring rain, summer can bring cloud of winds, but here it is the person who is more stable. Beloved does not change, he or she possesses a peacefulness and contentment that is balanced in mood and temper. So here the writer is using colons as well. All imperfection of the summer is listed afterward. Like in grammar, we use colon, as you know, when we want to give a detail of the list, or further detail is coming. So let's see what more things related to summer are about to appear in this poem. Rough winds do shake the darling birds of May. Rough winds, sometimes they are harsh when they are blowing in May and then shaking tender birds off, and then his friend is unpredictable and is not unpredictable and erratic, and then the personification winds act violently towards the delicate bird. So here wind is given some kind of personification of violence or human characteristic. Antithesis is here. Antithesis when there is sometime a kind of opposing argument. The destructiveness of the wind is contrasted to the vulnerability of the flowers bud. So नाजुकी उसके लब की क्या कहिए, पंखड़ी गुलाब की सी है. So you here you compare the kind of delicacy of the petals of the rose. Petals, like you could see that they are like when we see in Azra Pon's poem as well, where we see to the metro station, like the apparition of these faces in the crowd is like petal, petals on the black bough. So darling, dear, little, vulnerable bird, they are partially open flowers. And here you could see that from June to August and summer time, the May is the beginning of the pleasant weather, and the petals and the young budding flowers, they start blooming and grooming. Line 4, summer's lease has all too short a day. Personification summer here is compared to a person's renting property, and then emphasizes summer is brief. Summer lease here is a time period that is allocated where you rent something or you kind of go for the rental argument and you allow the temporary possession to a thing. Then the period of the time which the property is leased, summer will disappear and will expire soon. So lease is a contract. Metaphorically, it describes that the fleeting nature of the beauty, it won't last forever, because beauty has a kind of time period where it does not last forever. So summer time period is short, but the beloved's beauty in comparison is eternal. Not even death can affect it, and the summer is short-lived, but person is immortalized because of the beauty. So this was the first quatrain, and in second quatrain, the speaker continues to personify and give examples of the extreme weather and its transient nature. Let's read all these remaining lines. Sometime too hot, the eye of heaven shines. So occasionally it indicates that it will happen sooner or later, like the decay of the beauty, and the sun remains too hot and often is hidden sometimes in clouds, and beloved's beauty doesn't change. Here we see personification, like the sun is compared to a person that looks down from the above, creates the idea that the sun is beautiful and powerful. So eye of the heaven is like compared or called the name to the sun. Here it is a kind of direct name. When direct name is given, then it is considered as a kind of metaphor in poetic language. Line number 6, and often in his gold complexion dimmed, personification again, he is refers to sun, and then the sun is compared to a person with a beautiful complexion, and it depicts the beauty of the sun, and which is the provider of the light and heat. The golden color of the sun is blotted out by the clouds, and that the bright sun becomes dimmed and darkened. So here gold suggests warmth, and the color and the look of the skin is also kind of compared to gold. So here inversion technique is used where word order is changed. Sometimes you could see that often in his gold complexion dimmed. So here it places strong emphasis on dim to show the sharp contrast and antithesis between the bright appearance of the sun and the dark clouds which obscure. So you could see that elision is also used. Elision is the technique in poetry where we skip some of the letters from a word, like here in dimmed you can see that we have used an apostrophe comma, and we have skipped some of the, like E is skipped from here in order to make it rhyme with the previous rhyming scheme. So the sun whose light is sometime concealed, the speaker's loved outshines, and then the cloud of life and shines, they are brightly shining, but their brightness is no more. And here it is referring to the decay of the summer's time. And every fair from fair sometimes declines. So here the repetition is like exposes the defects of the summers and stresses the unavoidable deterioration of the beauty. Fair from fair sometimes declines. So we can see that the things of beauty, everything eventually loses beauty either by accident or by natural cause. Likewise, summer also loses its charm. Alliteration of F is here, fair from fair. So fa sound is repeated. It emphasizes that everything fades with time at one time or another. So repetition of fair highlights the fact that this fate is inescapable. Like you can't escape it and you will ultimately lose. Likewise, line 8 continues. Line 8, by chance or nature's changing course, untrimmed. Similarly, unexpected, by accident, everything will decay. Nature's cycle of season is a metaphor over here in this particular line. and there is a continuous progress through the stages of life, where we see that how again trim to decorate the beauty, untrimmed to take away the beauty, and decoration again elision is used in this particular word, like spellings are trimmed, and the line implies that the degeneration takes place either by accident or as a result of nature's cycle. Similarly, line 8 has been concluded. Now we see the third quatrain, which is introduced by the use of but, the connector, which signals the turning point and which gives us the kind of different picture. Like in first 8 lines, we see different idea, and in last 6 lines, we see in sonnet a turning point reaches their kind of comparison, where we see the beauty of a summer's day, where we see changing and time period that changes with the time. Likewise, the speaker and tells his beloved that he has nothing to fear and will neither age nor lose the beauty nor will die. And here you could see that the first 8 lines they are called as octave, and last 6 lines they are called as volta, which is turning point, and this is a kind of structure. They are octave, and last 8 lines are sest. Sest are the turning point where volta appears, and here we are going to sest, SESTET, and then which is called as octet as well. So the youth's changing or the beauty, like but the eternal summer shall not fade. You could see that apostrophe speaker directly talking to his beloved, lasting forever, eternal. Here the poet is certainly showing that his friend will have everlasting summer, and that this friend will not lose any of his beauty, brilliance, or honor, in contrast to the line 7, where he stated that the natural beauty will fade away. So here the brilliance will stay, the brilliance of the youth will stay, the friend's beauty will. So in a way, it is a kind of exaggeration, which in poetry we called as hyperbole. Hyperbole is a kind of exaggeration where we give some kind of immortal qualities to a person or to an individual, like hyperbole is here by calling it a kind of eternal summer. Line 10, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest. His friends' quality are part of him, and they will not never be lost. And then he here possession stands for beauty and loved ones and excellence and the qualities, and he owns it eternally. The implication is that he will live eternally through the poem, and as he is part of this particular poem, then he is not going to die, nor shall death brag thou wonderest in his shade. So here personification, death as a person falsely boasts that it will claim the speaker's beloved, but that boast to power to destroy life is seen as like unapplicable, and then this underworld and the shade will not be able to take the beloved away. Then boast means show off certainty that the beloved having the kind of everlasting reputation and timeless beauty. Therefore, death lacks the power to take away that kind of beauty. Like wanderest is walk about without any particular purpose. So here you could see that death cannot take the power away. So here the writer has used shade as a metaphor. Death's shade, like time's period and time's duration, like death in his time period cannot take thy beauty away. When in eternal lines to the time groweth. So immortality again is continued, like it refers to the lines of the poetry where he believes that he will become timeless, and nothing can take the beauty of the beloved away. Instead of the passing into obscurity and death, when someone dies, and then, but he will continue, like in this particular poem, because he has been made part of this eternal beauty which is also embedded in poetry. Likewise, the last couplet, the speaker claims the like people are living and can read. So this poem will be read in the memory and fame of the youth's beauty, which will never die, which is going to remain immortal. So line 13 states, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see. Here the confidence is reflected. It is kind of known as synecdoche. Synecdoche is a kind of literary technique where the part is representing something whole. So refers to the people who are alive or have any interest in literature, and this poem will be read. So eyes, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see. The Shakespeare states that confidently that in his poetry, as long as it persists, as long as there are people on the earth, like this poem will remain forever. Line number 14 states, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So this over here is referring to the poem. Each time the poem is read, the memory of this beloved will be alive, and then people will read this particular poem about his beauty. Here, the repetition is this stresses upon the importance that Shakespeare attaches to his own poetry. The idea is enhanced with the reference to life, and they are alive. So, irony, the poem itself will have a longer effect on the reader than the beauty of the speaker or the loved one. The immortality of the poem is the reason why the reader knows about the beauty and the worth, and then that is why the beloved will remain forever. So, this is the poem. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? If you have any question, any query, you can reach me out through the comment section below. Stay tuned, stay happy, and stay blessed till the arrival of the next lesson.